Well, hello, everybody. Here we are in another episode of Boo Bites on the Paranormal. Tonight we have Jeff Atkins from, I'm just going to call it DPX, but it's the Detroit Paranormal Expeditions.
Mm-hmm.
And, DPX is definitely a good shortened version of that. It rolls off the tongue a lot better, for sure. Hopefully we get some more people in here. We got a couple in here. So I got to turn the comments on. Last week I was bad and did not respond to the comments.
I wasn't part of it last week, right. So he didn't answer any comments. And I was trying to answer them, but I was driving, so it didn't work.
So Jeff, what's going on? What's you got anything coming up this weekend that you guys are doing, or?
Yeah, we're actually trying to figure it out. Todd and I are looking to hopefully head out to the west side of the state this weekend. If not, then we'll have to reschedule. But yeah, we've been staying busy this year, just having fun, and we've already been out to. I've been to a few states already. Been to Philadelphia. We're just out there. We weren't investigating, but we toured the Eastern State Penitentiaries. Always a bucket list thing for me. And went out to lots of places. So I've been to Ohio, Indiana, all the usual suspects.
Yeah, if you guys are watching now, later on after the show, you should go to their Facebook page because you guys, and I think you guys post some stories too from other people. It looked like. But you guys, man, you guys are definitely busy. Like I envy you.
Thanks.
I wish we were that busy. So people probably don't know, but Detroit DPX has been on. You guys have been on numerous TV shows and local news stations and radios. But you guys have also been on like Destination Fear, which we watched that episode. We're going to talk about that one later for sure. What is Fright Club? I don't know that I've ever seen that show. That's Discovery Plus, correct?
That's a newer one, yeah. Todd was on that, I think, with Brandy, talking about some of their experiences. I believe it's got the Ghost Brothers and Jack Osborne on there, and so they will play clips and then talk about it.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that show out because I like Jack Osborne and I like the Ghost Brothers too. They're entertaining.
It's a newer one.
Yep. It looks too like you guys have been on Paranormal Survivor. The Haunted Case Files, Most Terrifying Places, and Paranormal Caught on Camera. So you guys are making the TV rounds.
We've been on quite a few there. And then earlier this year, we filmed an episode with a show called, I think it's called These Woods Are Haunted on Discovery, on Discovery Plus that I don't believe it's aired yet, but it will air probably, I would guess this fall, maybe sooner. Okay. That'll be a cool one. And that we talk about Beaver Island and probably what's my favorite EVP we've ever captured, which I can play for you guys later if you want.
Yeah. What is Beaver Island? What's the story?
Oh man, it's really one of the most neat places in Michigan, in my opinion. It's like this little island about 30 miles off the coast of Charlevoix.
Okay.
It's in Lake Michigan. So it's real remote and there's no cell service, and you literally have to take a boat to get to it or fly in on a little like Cessna plane. So we took a boat and it's like a 2.5 hour boat ride. So we got out there. We went to investigate this little museum. It's a former print shop. Actually, it was like a newspaper print shop back in the mid 1800s. And the island itself has this fascinating history. So it was like in the mid 1800s, it was ruled by this guy named James Strang, and he broke off from Brigham Young, and this whole island was full of like Mormons, like a different branch of Mormonism. Yeah. And he was a king of this island. He had about 1,000 followers living on this island, but he also was just a super terrible person. And he ends up getting assassinated by two of his, disenchanted followers who were never prosecuted, because everybody hated him. And then Irish fishermen came in, sent the Mormons all packing in different directions on different boats, and then basically burned everything just about from the Mormon settlement there. But they didn't burn the print shop where the newspaper was made, and that's what we investigated. Didn't have a lot happen. But the people on the island said, you got to check out this lighthouse. It's the headlight, the South Lighthouse. So we went there, and the lighthouse, it was about midnight, I guess. And, the lighthouse itself was all locked up, but there's like this tiny shack in the light tower that they leave open 24/7 for visitors. So we went in there and just took 20 minutes of audio, and it got probably the best EVP that we've ever captured. It was absolutely crazy.
Man, now I want to hear it.
And I'll definitely play it for you whenever.
Yeah, maybe try and find what were some of the claims there? Like, what drew you guys to the place? Just the history, the story of it, or was there, employees or people on it that said, hey man, you got to check this place out. This is what's going on here.
What drew us there was the few people that are on the island. I mean, they said, there's like only just a handful of places like restaurants and stuff. And we went and they said, you got to check out the South Lighthouse. So that's what prompted us to go there. And then, we learned a little bit more about it. It dates back to like 1856. There was numerous shipwreck crew recoveries right off the coast, one of which I believe the lightkeeper died in. The lighthouse itself, there's a ton of limestone in its construction, which is something you see in a lot of haunted places. And then lighthouses themselves, tend to be very haunted. So all the elements were there and everything just really lined up.
Do you have any theories as to why like lighthouses are notoriously haunted? I mean, I understand the limestone being like a residual, tape recorder, people say. What's your theories on why lighthouses are so active?
I think lighthouses and anything that's real close to moving water is in my theory, the places that are very active. And I kind of theorize because you've got the tide constantly coming in and out. So, that motion just from the gravitational pull of the moon, you got the water coming in, it's being pulled back out. That can be used to generate energy in the same way that, it would be for a large mill. So it's kind of like you've always got a source that's generating energy there. So if a spirit was trying to manifest, it's like it has a natural source of energy, I think, right there that it could draw from.
Yeah. And I would think too, maybe a factor could be that like, the people that would tend those lighthouses, I would think would be like in some kind of isolation. I mean, because I think from my knowledge of lighthouses, like you've got somebody that stays in there and they're in there for a while at a time, all by themselves with no one else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a part of it, I'm sure.
Cool. Yeah, if anybody has questions, Dana just posted this, go ahead and ask them, because like I said, I view Jeff as a prime guest because these guys are busy. They're doing TV stuff. They are, and I like that you guys are doing what you love. You're not doing it to get on TV. It's just, it sounds like TV sought you guys because you guys were just doing your thing. And then all of a sudden, hey, you're on TV.
Yeah, we just, we just go out there and go to places and have fun. And, we live stream to kind of let people get in on the experience. And then, we just share photos or tell stories from what we've experienced and, whatever opportunities come along.
How many people are on your team?
So Todd and myself are the co-founders, and then we've got a handful of other folks that help us out with different things. I mean, Brandy on our team is a great psychic medium, and got several other investigators that come out and help out with events and things along those lines.
Cool. Do you consider yourself like a skeptic more so than because I know when we go investigate, we have like kind of two schools of thought. We try and do a skeptical team and then like a sensitive team and see who gets what, you know what I mean? Do you guys ever do anything like that, or is it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to definitely, anytime that we go into a place, you got to have a healthy dose of skepticism, and we try to debunk everything, and most of the time we can. I mean, there's only been, so many experiences over my about 10 years of doing this where I was truly mind blown and, just could not explain what happened.
Yeah. We had a case where these people called us and their daughter was seeing all kinds of crazy stuff. And it was nasty, evil, blah, blah, blah. So we take an EMF meter by her bed and it was registering like a 30. right where her head was every night because it was right above the electrical panel. It's like, well, no wonder
yeah,
you're. I mean, that's a natural cause. It's like, I'm not saying it's not haunted, but I'm saying like that needs to be fixed before you investigate the paranormal next.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly what you got to do. You got to debunk stuff like that.
Yep. So Sue is asking, she says, go ahead and read it.
She goes, I believe I heard you went to Beaver Island. She wants to know, what did you find out there?
Yeah, we did go to Beaver Island. I can actually, I'll play that EVP for you guys if you want.
Hey, go ahead and find that. Yeah.
It's a little bit of a long story, but it's a real good story. So I'll tell you the whole thing. Yeah. I'll go ahead and share my screen. I'll go to our SoundCloud account. Hang tight.
Okay.
Let's take just a second. Here it is. So you should be seeing my screen.
Yep, I see it. I'm gonna.
This is where
I'll let you set it up, and then I'll go ahead and play it.
So we'll want to play that top one there. But we went there to investigate a different place, an old Mormon print shop. Now it's a museum for the Beaver Island Historical Society. And then this lighthouse here, the Beaver Island headlight, which I'll show you maybe a better picture of. Everyone said, you got to go check this place out. So we went there, and it's like 20 minutes down this like remote dirt road. I mean, it's like in the middle of nowhere, and the water's like over here, or actually, no, it's actually on this side over there. And I don't know if you guys still see.
Actually, that. No, I got to add it to the screen. There we go. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's okay. But so we, the house itself is all locked up, and there's like, if you can see, like next to the audio there's a little shack and a light tower that's open 24/7. So Todd and I went in there and just took 20 minutes of audio and got the CVP. And to preface this, I mean, when we pulled up to the property, Brandy, the psychic medium that we work with, she said she was seeing a woman on the porch in that kind of in a white dress, and she said this woman's pointing back towards the road saying, "Go, you need to leave, get out." And she said the woman didn't sound angry, but like she was trying to protect us from something darker in the house that wouldn't tolerate us being there. So, we didn't hear anything in the moment. We got back to our camp and listened to the audio, and you can go ahead and play it, and I'll explain what happened.
I think, I've shared your screen. I think you have to hit the play button.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Yep. All right.
Okay, here it goes. I don't know if... Okay.
You may need to turn his
you may need to turn it up on your end. Is that possible?
Let's see. Maybe if I do it through StreamYard. Let's see. Cam mic, audio, default, headset microphone. I'm not quite sure why that's not loud for you guys. Did you hear anything at all? Was it just quiet?
Yeah, I definitely heard it, but it was quiet. But it was quiet to the point that I couldn't hear the EVP at all.
Let's see.
So yeah,
I'm not sure why that's so quiet for you guys. Audio's max there.
Just play it one more time. We'll see what happens. If we can't figure it out, then we'll just let you tell us what it said.
Yeah, hold on. Okay. Maybe
so that is.
Go ahead.
So that's an occupied island. Like people actually live there nowadays.
Yeah, they do. There's not many people there,
right.
But there's a handful of people that do live on the island.
Okay.
I wonder if I play it, if it'd be any louder if I just play it through my phone for you guys.
I don't know.
Let's experiment here. Isn't that what paranormal is all about? It's experimenting. Let's give this a shot.
Right. Plus, honestly, too, while you're setting it up, I mean, I think people want to hear the EVPs and the evidence.
Yeah, and
so if it takes a second to get to it, then so be it.
Yeah. No, I'd love for you guys to hear it. It's my favorite piece of audio we've ever captured. So let's try this. Tell me if this is any louder.
Can you shake this door handle for me like this? Can you do that? What if you did that? The door just open. It wasn't locked anymore. I told you to go.
You guys hear that?
Yeah, that was okay. So
I'll tell you. I'll play it again, but I'll kind of preface what was going on. So I'm leaning up against this door, that goes into the house, and the door is locked, and Todd's sitting in front of me. And I said, "You can't shake this door handle for me like this." And then Todd kind of jokes and says, "What if you did that and the door wasn't locked anymore?" And then we didn't hear anything else in the moment.
Right.
But when we listened back, it sounds like right after he gets done saying that, it real quickly, you probably can't even hear it. It sounds like it says shipwreck, and then it's almost cut off by this other voice that sounds like something from The Exorcist. And I hear "I told you to go." Todd hears "I told you get out," but it sounds like this like non-human kind of voice. I'll play
it was definitely a long voice. So yeah, play it again.
Yeah.
You can't shake this door handle for me like this. Can you do that? What if you did that and the door is open, it wasn't locked anymore? I told you to go.
That's just
You
crazy.
guys,
That's a good one.
So when we go back to the cabin and we hear that, Todd literally, I'm not kidding, like threw the headphones off of his head, and yeah, he was freaked out, and I was freaked out. I didn't even want to keep listening to it to clip it, but I did, and and it's like we've had other experiences, I think, with that entity. Like after that, like I think that's a very, very strong entity there, and we get home, and for a couple months nothing happens, and then one day I'm out to eat in this restaurant downtown in Detroit, and everything, it was only around for like a couple years. Now it's gone, but it was all Great Lakes themed. And they had this like these 2 one-person bathrooms. And then I walked into one, and it had a painting of Michigan on the wall, and around the coast are these smaller paintings of lighthouses. So I looked, and sure enough, that lighthouse was painted there. And I looked at it, and I was just sort of thinking out loud. I just said to myself, "Shipwreck, I told you to go." And like 5 seconds later, the bathroom goes dark, and I thought the building lost power. And I reached back for the switch, and it was down, and I had just turned it on, and I felt instantly like something was just right next to my face. And I really believe that, like, although I don't think that was an attachment, because I've had one, I've had probably several at this point. I don't think it was an attachment. I think I literally, on some kind of a metaphysical level, like summoned that thing, and looking at that lighthouse and then saying that, it was like it knew. And I don't think physical distance is a challenge for spirits.
No, I don't think so either. I definitely heard I definitely heard shipwreck, and it definitely sounded like "I told you to get out."
Yeah.
That's what I think it says. So,
yeah, and that's what Todd says too.
Yep.
So
that's good stuff. That is good stuff.
That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. So were you let's see, I definitely got a list of questions. So like, have you ever, you just mentioned attachments, so let's talk about that for a second. So you've had attachments, you think?
Oh yeah.
I had one
for sure. I mean, there's been times throughout the last 5 years when I definitely did not feel right, and like just super drained, and like can't focus, and like I think I had attachments at those times too, but it wasn't that obvious. But there was one that I believe I got from Randolph County Infirmary in Winchester, Indiana, that lasted 10 months, and was just like one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me.
Because I got to be honest, the first time I think I had one once, or in fact I know I did, but the first time I had it, I didn't know it. Yeah. And now I think so. And maybe you're the same way. So like, if you start acting funky, do you think okay, dude, I need to get cleansed, because like you've been through it before and you kind of know what it feels like,
Yeah, I think you gotta protect your energy, and whatever you do for protection. I mean, whether you carry stones, whether you sage, or keep, Palo Santo or selenite, and everyone's got different things that they believe. But I think you've got to do the cleansing and take care of yourself.
Yeah. Have you ever brought something home?
Yeah, that one. So the story goes, and I can show you some pictures in a second. Yeah. So we back in late 2016. This is the first place that DPX ever went to as DPX before we had that name. So it was like a month before DPX had that name, and I'd always carried this medal with a Benedictine cross on it, blessed by Bishop James Long for protection. And my friend Lauren was investigating, and she'd never been on one, so she was like all freaked out. So I said, "Here, you just take this, and I'll just get another one." And we investigate, and like some things happen, but nothing too crazy really. And then I get home for a week, and everything's quiet, and I'm very like lucid when I wake up I'm very not somebody that even really needs a second alarm. I just get up, So I wake up out of the blue.
Like 4 or 5.
I wake up out of the blue at like 3:57 a.m. one day, about a week after Randolph. Looked at my phone, and I had this hallway that leads into my bedroom. And I look at the hallway, and clear as day, I mean, I could see a black figure like my size, like speed walking directly down my hallway, directly towards my bed. Not quite running, but fast walking. And I got goosebumps even thinking about it. And I'll tell you, I'm not too proud to say. I mean, I screamed and jumped out of my bed, and I had to run towards it because it's in the doorway to get out of my room, and I think I ran through it. I turned around, and then there's just nothing there. And I told myself I was dreaming. I eventually got back to sleep. And I, a few days later, my car battery dies out of the blue, which is not necessarily paranormal, but I get a jump. I go home, go to hop in the shower, get out of the shower, and the bathroom door is locked. Yeah. But I lived alone, so I never locked the bathroom doors. So I called Todd the next day, like all this weird stuff's been happening since Randolph. And that same week that I had the shadow walking down my hallway, he woke up and saw a black silhouette standing in his room. And he had a brand new 2016 Dodge Ram, and the truck battery died out of the blue, and the dealership couldn't explain why.
And that's the thing, you got to debunk stuff right away, and I'm sure you do. But you got 2 dead batteries, and you're seeing black shadow figures in both your houses. That's crazy.
And I'll try to show you some photos because that's kind of where it stopped for Todd, it seemed like, but not for me. So I talked to Brandy. Can you guys see this page now?
Yep, I'm gonna share it.
I kind of talked to Brandy, and I said, this is what's going on. So she recommended I do all kinds of things from like saging to using black salt and all this stuff. And I did all this, everything. And for like a month, it was quiet. But what started happening was I started getting this fogging over my eyes in pictures. So I'll show this one first, if I can zoom in, if it'll let me.
Yep.
And what was crazy about it is like it was always thicker over the left eye, and it would come and it would go. So this is the first photo I ever saw it, and you can see it right kind of here.
That's weird, dude. That's creepy as hell.
That was the first photo. Whoops. Hold on a second. Let me reload that.
Yep.
It's zoomed in. And then here's one just a couple seconds later. If it will let me zoom in for it. It might not. I don't know why it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. It let you on the first one.
I know. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe Mort doesn't want me talking about him.
Yeah, it could be.
But
I'll tell you what. I've had that happen. So that Collingwood I was talking to you about in the pre-interview, that no one saw. So I'm just going to tell a creepy story here real quick, since we're talking creepy stories. So a year after that experience, we were going to do another Parafest at the Collingwood. And me and a real close friend of mine, the one that I told you that got choked out, we were texting and, said, hey, I'll talk to you later, because we went over a lot of audio evidence together and blah, blah, blah. So like a half an hour later, she's like, I just got a call from the Collingwood. I'm freaking out because there was like a crazy voice on the other end. So I called her up and we're talking. And as I'm talking to her, about 10 minutes later, I get a call from a number. And this is like midnight. And I'm like, no one's calling me. I know what this is. I know it's Collingwood. Sure as shit, dude. I clicked on that phone but there was nothing there. Like it was something manipulated the telephone.
Wow.
Because I even called the Collingwood the next day and I was like, okay, are we on some like auto call list or explain to me how this happened. Here's the number it came from. And they said, no, that had to have come from our office, which was absolutely locked up last night.
Wow. See, no way to explain that.
Right. And that, that fog in your eye, man, that was creepy. That's weird.
Well, that was the first one. And then here's the next photo I saw it. And if you can you still see the screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, it's thicker over the left eye. So, this is November of 2016. So I didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
So, the next, I had a lot more of these photos. I still have about 8 of them total. But then this is March of 2017. And it's a little bit thicker here than there. This is a couple seconds later.
Oh, wow.
It's like thicker.
It is weird, dude.
And then here is August of 2017. Same thing. And then a couple seconds later. Same thing.
Yeah, man.
Oh wow.
And you know what's nuts about this is like, I mean, from November 16 through September of 17, these photos weren't even taken with the same phone. I broke my phone and had had to get a different phone, so it wasn't the device. I knew about it. I was intentionally not blinking, so you know, it wasn't me blinking.
And I'm sure in debunk mode that you've taken pictures of other people, and I'm sure you've looked at that. Like,
yeah,
okay, why is it not happening to everybody
Yeah, I mean
else?
that looks like a serious cataract going on there. It's like that, yeah.
A lot of people say it looks like another set of eyes, like imposed over my eyes, you know, which I can kind of see. Yeah. And but one day in September of 2017, we were in Detroit investigating, and you know, I nicknamed this ghost Mort, and I said, "Is Mort with me tonight?" And this woman came through our spirit box and just said, "It's done. That's all. It's done." And never saw or heard from it again. And someone asked if I had eye problems. I didn't. I didn't notice any change to my vision with all that going on.
Wow.
That is.
Yeah, I work for an eye doctor, so I mean, I know when I have just a little bit of cloudiness, but that, I mean, that's another.
It was crazy.
Cloudiness, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so you definitely got rapport with the doctors there. Like what? Okay, so where were those pictures on? What site? Because I need to show up to an eye doctor.
Yeah, I could. Well, yeah, because doctor, I can. One of my doctors, he's actually answered some crazy paranormal questions about eyes before for us, because we had a couple other people ask us some crazy stuff, and so he laughs at us, but he's like, yeah, I know it's been possible for this to happen. So yeah, maybe I would see if what he thinks.
Yeah, is that on the website?
Yeah, it's on our blog. If you just Google Mortimer and attachment, it'll pop up. It'll be the very first thing.
I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, I'll take it to my doctor that thinks I'm crazy, but he thinks it's always intriguing too, because I come up, he's like, how did you even come up with these things being paranormal with the eyes? It's like, people ask us. Yeah. And it's like, but I mean, I see people come in like that. So it's like, and I mean, that is like
that looked like a serious cataract.
Yeah, serious.
But obviously, it's not here now.
and it goes, you know, and it was like it would come and go was the craziest thing. I mean, if it was a day it was there, I could take 10 pictures and it'd be in every picture. And then if it was a day it wasn't, there wouldn't be anything.
But even just to see it, just one from a few seconds to see that how much of a difference it makes in it. And it's just one eye, and it's crazy.
Right. And I remember, so that first started, those first pictures were November of 16, and then I did the saging and all this stuff. Yeah. And like from like late November to late December of 2016, it really wasn't doing it. I thought it was gone. And I was going out in Detroit one night. I was meeting people at this little bar down there, and I knew a bunch of people, so I was walking around. I had my coat in the back of my chair. So before I went out, you know, I'm just about to leave, and I grabbed the door handle, and my TV in my room turned on by itself. And you know, the feeling I got, like it was trying to stop me from leaving, because I stopped and I went back in and I sat down and tried talking to it, shut the TV off, and it wouldn't. Yeah. So I shut the TV off and went out anyway. And my coat got stolen that night from the back. On the back of my chair, it had my wallet, my car keys, my coat, obviously, and. Like, you never want anything attaching to you because it draws your energy down, you know. But I think that thing was trying to stop that from happening. Like, I think it was not a malevolent spirit. Like, it was trying to stop that.
I was going to say that, you know, sometimes like so when you take pictures of your eye and things like that, it's like everybody wants to freak out, call a priest, you know, we got some demonic shit going on, whatever. But like, it's not always bad. I mean, sometimes it, you know, Harold from Togues, he actually had. So he's got a shadow man that's followed him for years, but it actually saved his son one night. But, you know, when you see that in the middle of the night, you're like, that's some evil stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's not always evil. Sometimes that stuff is there to help you. So,
yeah.
So Sue had a question. Have you found, go ahead and read that. I can't.
Have you found that there are certain areas in Michigan that have greater paranormal activity?
I think kind of like we were talking about, I mean, places near water, near natural running or moving water seem to have a lot of activity. But I mean, you know, some of the most haunted places I've been to are just regular old houses. There was years ago before DPX, we went to this little farmhouse in Schwartz Creek, and it was like crazy haunted, you know, and like no running water by it. So it seems like it's everywhere.
Well, I think there's two things that maybe make for a paranormal experience. Like one, like you said, water, because it's energy, you know, constant energy, but also history. Like if something's been around for years and years and years, I mean, it's got history, it's got imprints, it's got, you know, residual stuff, at least a lot of times, you know, but
I still think crime too.
Yeah.
Anything that deals with crime has a huge amount of energy, I think.
Yeah.
It comes back.
So Sue says, go ahead and show that one. But do you know where this place is at? It's Swartz Creek.
Yeah. That's where that farmhouse was. I was just talking about from like years ago. Yeah, it was just some regular old residents, and the family had reported seeing 3 apparitions, like 2 little kids, and they said like a adult that they described in like a black sweater, and we got like the clearest EVPs I've ever heard from that place. I mean, it was like a little boy's voice, and we said. And like the co-founder of that team we were on at the time had asked how many entities are here, and this little boy's voice, super clear, comes through and said mostly 3, what
a little toddler would answer.
Yeah,
he's like mostly 3, and then I wish I had this audio. I mean, it might be on that co-founder's page. I don't know, years and years ago. We're talking like probably 2012, and. But they're using the SB7, and they got this EVP, like, so you got the SB7 going, and like the EVP I think was like sort of between the SB7 noise and the recorder, but it was that same little boy's voice, and he was singing a song, and I mean this audio lasts like 8 seconds, and I still get goosebumps talking about it, but it was the same little boy's voice, crystal clear. And it sounded like he said, "It's my birthday. We're moving away. Let's just stay here. Let's just stay here." I swear.
Oh, wow.
It is the creepiest.
That is creepy, dude.
It was the creepiest audio, and like the just how clear it was just gave me chills.
Yep. We've had that happen a lot too, where we do like SB7 sessions, and then you get EVPs, so it's not coming out of the spirit box. It's like, what the hell? Do you guys ever do like experimental stuff? Like we've done the Estes method a few times, which is you guys do a lot of that stuff.
We've done some of that stuff. Yep, at the Norris Farm and Taylor and stuff like that.
Do you guys like equipment? What's your standard go-to? What's your favorite piece of equipment?
We use quite a bit of stuff now, and we got a lot of boxes that we use. You know, we found this really cool, really like genuine 1939 GE radio in an antique shop in Dundee, and our friend Jeff Fent like refinished the entire thing, and it's a spirit box now that works with the radio. It does the scanning and kind of makes it quieter, you know, like it quiets the radio noise a bit, and the voices that come through are louder. I mean, some of the stuff that I've heard through that have been like amazing. That's definitely one of my favorite pieces of equipment.
Is that thing that you guys just used that you posted on your Facebook page?
Yeah, there's a video that we just posted today. It's just 20 or 30 seconds long, but that's when we were in Philadelphia, and we were going to go investigate somewhere else, and the lady unfortunately canceled on us like when we're already there. But our Airbnb like dated back to 1904, so we just decided to investigate there. And
you can always find some haunted stuff.
Yeah, and that there was some crazy shit there too. And that's another thing that goes back to that Beaver Island thing. Like, if anybody goes and watch that video on our Facebook page, I know the audio probably won't be real. And maybe I could play it for you through this, but you know, we're using the box, and it started saying up, you know, and then we asked it to be louder and more clear, and this voice sounded like an angry old woman yelled "come up" through the box. It sounds like that voice from Beaver Island. And the crazy thing is that, you know, that house didn't feel like that. It wasn't scary, and we had been outside in the backyard, and we were talking about that EVP and about when we captured it and all that kind of stuff. And I walked back inside, and I was going to go upstairs, and I stopped at the base of the stairs, and I just had this feeling like I knew somebody bad was upstairs. Like there's someone upstairs, and they're not good. And I went back outside and got Todd, and I was like, we should use the spirit box. And we did. And, you know, we get this audio, and then that same, it's not in the video, but that same angry woman's voice comes through a couple minutes later and yells, "Stop!" And we did stop.
Yeah.
And we would go back outside, and there was like this fence along the back porch, you know, and it sounds crazy, but like it sounded like somebody banged on it, like as hard as like hard. It was loud, and there was no explanation. And I go upstairs, and there was a bottle of like Glade air freshener on a shelf, and I'm like in the I walk in the bathroom, then I'm back in my bedroom, and that thing fell off the shelf with nobody around it either. So it was just like some crazy shit going on there.
Speaking of flying objects, can you upload that Eloise clip again with the record? Because this is some cool stuff here. This would scare the shit out of me too. Yeah. So while you're getting that ready, I'm gonna just tell everybody. So these guys are on the episode of Destination Fear with he used to be a cameraman for the Ghost Adventures team. But they're interviewed for the Eloise episode, which is a psychiatric hospital up in Michigan. It's, I believe, in Detroit, right? Is it in Detroit or is it outside?
It's just outside of Detroit. It's in
cool.
It's in Westland.
Cool.
Yeah, but I got that video here. So to preface this a little bit, so Brandy, who's sitting here with a spirit box, she's holding Jeff Fent's spirit box. She's there with her cousin, who's also got abilities, and Brandy, as I recall, was seeing like a male entity like down the hallway, and like I don't remember if it was Brandy or cousin, but as soon as one of them said, "I'm telling you, there's no man," like this loud like bang, and they scream, and I ran downstairs, and there was this record, a vinyl record that was broken in the middle of the floor, and a chunk of it was like 15 feet down the hallway. So I'll go ahead and share my screen now and play that for you guys. Hopefully you can hear it. The audio might be quiet.
I could hear it earlier. So okay, I'm gonna add it.
All right,
okay, I've got it added to the stream. So
okay, ready?
Yep. I don't know if it's playing the audio.
It is on my side. I'm not sure if it's.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah, it's not playing the audio here.
Yeah, it must be some kind of a setting. I'm not sure. I don't see any volume settings on my side.
Didn't you have to? That's a YouTube clip?
Yeah.
Do you have to share the audio as well?
Let's see. I'm going to stop.
I think that's what you said you did last time.
That's what I did. So we'll do share screen. Share audio. Let's try it again.
Yeah, try that.
Maybe I missed that one. Let me know if you can hear it this time. Share audio. Can you hear it?
Did you hear me? I was like,
yep.
Yeah.
He was kind of, well, he was surprised. They were like, I don't think so. They were kind of,
What was that?
I want to go more towards no.
Okay, because I'm going to tell you right now, there's no.
Time to go. We're going.
It was like a get out moment.
We're going.
Yeah, there was a bunch of filing cabinets that were kind of like in this like the day room area. Whoops, hold on.
That's not showing.
There we go. And so this vinyl record was sitting on top of it, and then they're talking, and they were picking up on a male entity, and this record that was sitting up there is like literally flies off and slams and enough to break it, and then I ran down from the 4th floor and saw it there. I mean, it was
there was definitely some force behind that. You can hear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So we got a question. Go ahead.
Oh, hold on. I just went back. Sorry. Okay. Was going to ask about areas that have Native Americans previously on the land. I want to visit Wakazu Woods in Michigan since I'm a descendant of Chief Wakazu.
So do you guys know anything about that area? Or
not about that area specifically, but I mean, I've definitely got sort of stories about land that had Native American presence that I think still have, spiritual energy there today. I'll keep it brief. But my parents live a little bit northwest of Houghton Lake, and like on the backside of their property, they weren't, but the state was timbering. They were cutting down all these trees and stuff like that. And a psychic told them that the Native American spirits were angry about that. And all this weird stuff started happening. They woke up one night, and a flashlight was on and facing them. And like my dad, who was like a non-believer in this kind of stuff, said, well, if anyone's here, then why don't you set off one of the car alarms outside? And one of the alarms actually went off, like right on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, I do think that those entities tend to stick around.
Cool. I'm going to let Dana take over. I got to step away for a second because this is what I do. But maybe talk about Eloise, like in the doing the Destination Fear show and like how that was and what's going on there.
Precinct, because I know a little bit about
that. Okay, actually, yeah, do the Precinct first. I'll be right back.
I know a little bit about that one. Yeah, because you guys did do a show that they featured you guys with a sixth precinct in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
For that one, now, did you guys have experiences throughout the whole building, or was it just in the basement?
We've had experiences throughout the building. Like we were talking about earlier, I don't think we've ever captured like photo or video there. I've never gotten visual stuff, but a ton of audio stuff. I mean, there's a really clear EVP that I'm trying to see if I've got it here. I know it's not on our website, but it sounded like it was saying DPX, and we don't know if that was someone's name or what. But the craziest thing that probably happened was in the basement. I mean, like these little rocks were being thrown at us. I mean, it was like 20 degrees down there. It was February. There's no heat at all. I mean, it was like super, super cold. So we had thick winter coats on, and these little rocks were like hitting us. You could feel it through the coat. And there was a guy there that worked for Ed that was a non-believer, just didn't believe in this stuff. And he was sitting in there, and he had his arms crossed. He's leaning up against a wall, and one of these rocks hit him on the bottom of his arm, so it came up from the ground. And he got so freaked out he left. He wouldn't even stay there. Yeah,
I know. And I just said that he might have some stuff on the video, so we'll have. I think all of us haven't even had a chance to go back and look, so I think that's going to be something that we're all going to be curious to see. So when you guys were there, did you what else happened besides? I know that was the big thing in the basement. Did you guys have a lot of other things just coming at you, touching, or was it more like just feeling energies or different things?
Yeah, a lot of audible stuff there, like especially so if you guys make it up there, like the jail cells are kind of in the back of the building, and then there's a long hallway that leads to that. We've on multiple occasions we've heard whistling in that hallway. I mean, there was one time I thought it was someone literally walking back to the jail cell area. It was so loud, and I walked out there and there was no one there. So that's happened. People have been touched. On the second floor, we were doing a spirit box session with two people that we brought with us, like guests, and this rock like falls right in the middle of this room, and there's no concrete or anything, for it to fall from. It's like wood in the ceiling, and couldn't explain that. I mean, there's been a lot of experiences.
Yeah, as I said, I think like anything that has to deal with crime or victim, like things like that, I think it brings out like everything. So
yeah, I mean, the Six has got such a long history. It goes back to the 30s, and as Ed told you about, I'm sure there was a lot of like race riots there in the 40s, and in the late 60s, the National Guard was there as part of the major Detroit riots. So
there were suicides in the gun range. Did you guys investigate that area?
Yeah, we have done the gun range. Got a lot of stuff on the SB7 back there.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely, like I said, when you can add certain elements that actually record residual energy, and you can add the history and the nasty energy that goes on in places like that. Like, it's definitely a mix for paranormal stuff.
Right.
So Sue had anot's it say?
Have you ever gone to the Ypsilanti gone to Ypsilanti at the state psychiatric hospital?
No, I haven't. I wish I could have. I believe it's gone now, right? I don't think the Ypsi State Hospital is still around.
Sue, chime in if you know if that's going or not, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm looking at the Wikipedia page anyway.
Oh, okay.
It says it said it was located in the northwest corner of Platt and Willis Roads, so it sounds like it's not there anymore.
Okay.
But I absolutely wish I could have.
Yep. Let's jump back to Eloise for a second, because we're kind of running out of time a little bit. So you guys did that with Destination Fear. Did you guys get to investigate with them?
No, we didn't investigate with them.
Okay.
We met with them at Atwater Brewery to talk through like the pre-thing and talk about what we've experienced where and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Gave them some background, some history on it, and then they went and investigated. How
many times have you guys investigated there?
I couldn't even tell you, man. So many. I mean, when we were there in 2018, I mean, we investigated it just privately, probably at least 40 or 50 times. And then when we did the tours out of there, I mean, we were doing sometimes 3, 4, or 5 a night in there with people. Yeah. So I mean, it was really a lot.
And you guys, that place is like active for private investigations, right? Like you can.
Yeah, I think they are still doing some stuff. We've kind of moved on to new projects now, but I believe that they still do tours there.
Okay. Is that like an inexpensive place to go? I mean, like, what's it cost to do a tour there? Do you have any clue?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, I have no idea now. I think they're doing it through like Ghost Hunts USA now, which is definitely not inexpensive. But
right.
But I don't know if like exactly what their pricing is like.
Plus, probably once it hit the TV shows, that's a price increase there.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. So what's the? I don't think I asked them this yet. What's the scariest thing that's ever happened to you that you like ran out, like straight up?
There have been a handful of things. I mean, to date, I think literally the scariest thing that ever happened to me was waking up and seeing that thing like walking down my hallway towards me. That was the scariest moment of my life to date. But a very close second was in northern Michigan, like way over on the west side in the UP. There's a little museum. It's called Iron County Historical Museum. Okay. And there's audio of this on our website. I wish we had video. All we have is audio. I'm glad we at least have that. It's like this. There's like old family cabins from the late 1800s. There's an old saloon, an old train station, and all this stuff. And they've got this house from this former musician called Carrie Jacobs Bond. So she was the first woman to ever sell 1 million copies of a song. Wow. Yeah, and her house is really kind of neat to be in there. And when we walked in there at first, like we didn't really feel much going on, and we found some music on YouTube of her performing from like the 30s, and we played it. Everything switched, and I don't think that what we encountered in there was her. Which I'll explain why in a second. But I think whatever we did encounter there was very, very negative. And so after we play this music, like, this was like February, I want to say, of 2017. It was up there. It's like pitch black. I mean, there's nothing, and it's like super still, and so the wind kind of started to pick up, and I was hearing like shuffling in the back of the house, which I kind of told myself was the wind. And I went upstairs by myself, which, I mean, the energy in this place was like intense, and that took a lot for me to do that, even though I like doing that. And so they're like in this parlor area, and I wonder if I can show you. I know we're kind of low on. I kind of want to show you the parlor. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. So I know too, while you're finding that, like, I mean, I think you and I are similar. Like, I'm looking at, this is really weird, but I look for like the gnarly experience. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know why. I think you look for you're looking for the happy spirits. You're looking for the client's mom to be at their house, not.
I mean, I look for like just anything, but it just seems like I respond better to happy than like somebody pinching my neck or tripping me or.
And I definitely like. I've always told people like I want to get scratched once just to like know it's.
I'm like,
a
I don't
legit
know
experience.
why. I mean, I have been.
sounds
I'm
stupid,
like,
but-
no, you don't
All right.
want to be.
All right,
Can you
I'm gonna
guys
add this.
see this?
Yep.
So this is the parlor. If you can see my screen, this is
Yeah.
the parlor of Carrie Jacobs Bond's house. So there's a blog that tells this whole story. It's called Museum of Mysteries Investigating Iron County. If you Google that, it'll pop right up. But it's on our,
But also
on our
too,
website.
your website is what? Detroit Paranormal Expeditions.com.
Yep, it's the longest URL on the planet.
You gotta, yeah. But you guys, I'll say, you know, I've been checking it out this week, and you guys do have a lot of really, really good stories on there. I obviously didn't get to read them all, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of content for people that like paranormal on your.
Thank you. I do have to add. I have
Facebook page,
so much to add. I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's tough to do, man. You get, like you said, you have a real job like everybody else, and you know.
So are you able to see my mouse too? Like, can you see?
Yeah,
All right.
we can see the mouse.
So I'm upstairs by myself, and then Todd's basically sitting here on this couch, and then over here is our friend Linda, and then over here is our friend Lauren. On this side of the couch is a K2 meter, which is definitely outside of Todd's reach. So, you know, I'm upstairs, and Todd says, if anything's here, can you touch that green light, meaning the K2 meter? And it starts to go off. Well, Linda here is saying that she can't focus on it. Like, her eyes won't focus. It looks like it's misty or something. And on our audio, because the recorder was sitting right next to it, you can literally hear this thing start to shift, because this couch here is like this velvety material, and it makes this kind of like you can hear it start to shift. And then that continues, and then all of a sudden you can hear it go, and it shoots off of there and hits Lauren in the leg. Lauren screamed. They all screamed. Lauren was so scared she started crying and wouldn't go back in the house. And you know, they jumped up. They screamed so loud, I swear I ran downstairs thinking like a table was going to be levitating or something, you know. And you know, and we all left the house and stuff like that. And then like 20 minutes later, Todd wants to go back, and I was just like, oh my God. So we went back in there, and you know, all I can say is this is one of probably 2 or 3 times in my life I've ever had this feeling. When I was walking towards that house, it was just like every single cell in my body was telling me, don't go in this house. And my there's another couch here you can't see. So Todd sits here, I sit in this chair, and we were doing a little EVP session, and like the energy in this place is just intense. And all of a sudden, you know, we're there for 4 minutes. It was like boom, 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 boom. These heavy footsteps coming down the stairs, which are like back here. Todd and I jumped up at the same time, and like kind of like that same story with the ghosts in my apartment. Like, you have to go back towards the stairs, which are here, to get out, you know, to get out of the place.
You're trapped in the room.
Oh my God, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. I've had a couple experiences like that too, where it's just like everything in you says, look, dude, I know you've gone up in this place like 5 different times, but don't go now. And you know,
he doesn't like to listen to me. He was like, let me just do it once.
Yeah, I don't like to,
I usually will tell him, let's not go there right now.
Yeah, she stopped me a couple times from going up into places, but then we actually had a medium confirm like there was something guarding that stairway. So, you know, I was right in listening to her when she said don't go, even though it pisses me off.
Do you guys have that often, that you just have like, nope, I'm not doing that, and actually don't do it?
You know, there's been that was one of really a few times that I've ever had like that level, like to where it was just like everything about my entire being was like, don't go in this house. It's like, you know, and there's one other time that I had that feeling, like, was the first time we investigated Eloise, because that was on, there's a video, I'll even pull it up and just show you. You guys definitely, it's not something that you can really watch in like, I think that the whole thing is like 5 minutes, and you need to have headphones on. But I will tell you, give this a watch, because this is share.
Is it on your website or is it on your?
It's on our YouTube. So I'm going to share this just so you guys can see which one I'm talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody watching, man, you guys got to go to their YouTube, go to their Facebook, and go to their website, because they have a lot of
cool stuff.
Check this one out here whenever you guys get a chance. It's on our YouTube, but I'm really horrid about putting content on our YouTube, so there's not a lot to even look at. But there's one called Ghost in Eloise Psychiatric Hospital. Throw some headphones on and watch that. I'll tell you, because the only other time that I can really think of offhand that I had that all things, you know, all part of my being, you know, don't go here was at Eloise that first night that we investigated.
Right.
You know, in this video, I'm gonna mute this. In this
put it back
video, we just so people can kind of see, you know, we had set up static cams, and this is the video, but you really need to have headphones on. And they covered like, this is like the main hallway down the middle of the building. This is a laundry room. This is kind of where all of our tech stuff was, and then this is a hallway in the far end by the power plant. Mm-hmm. And like the only exits are right here, you know, and there's also one a little bit farther down over there. But so anybody that watches with headphones, basically, long story short, you know, we're all investigating, and like the way we used to do these live streams, like what you're looking at right now was just a phone in front of a monitor, and it was right here. So what you're also getting is all the audio in this room, in this immediate vicinity. So it was like 1:40 in the morning, and we all went out outside to take a break. And Todd basically was like in here messing around on his phone, and he looks up and basically like, we're all gone. So Todd's like sitting in front of the monitor, like interacting with people. Right. And he starts to hear like walking in the back of this room, like back over here. And he thought we were screwing with him. He clicks his flashlight on. He's like, hello. And he's looking under the dividers. And there's nobody there. And then it gets louder, like it's coming towards him. And he gets like seriously kind of spooked. And then he leaves. And like, you know, you see him walk down this hallway and go down. You can hear on the audio like him leave the building. And then it's just silent for like a minute. And then what happens for the next like 3 to 4 minutes is like movement in this room that's like it's not even subtle. I mean, it's like you can hear like shower curtains moving. You hear like a drawer slam. Wow. You hear somebody like walking. And like what's crazy is like you hear like this like walking, and then it just like stops. Like it's right by the camera, and it like stops. And then we come back up, and then like nobody ever enters or leaves that room. You know what I mean? Yep. And then it's just like the fact that it's so loud, it's not even subtle, and like nobody was on that floor. We were all outside. I mean,
I think I watched part of that one, but
it's 10 minutes long.
I'm definitely gonna watch that one.
Take some commitment, but throw some headphones in and just give that a watch. I mean, it's nuts.
Cool. We got a few more minutes, and we got a couple questions. I because like I said, I was bad last week. I ignored the people watching.
I wasn't here to help, so.
So go ahead.
Paulette, which is mom. Hi, mom. Have you ever investigated the Detroit Yacht Club?
No, I'd like to. That'd be a cool.
Have you ever heard any stories about there? I mean, is it something that's known to be haunted, or?
Not in particular. I mean, I'd like you to talk about a place that's so historic. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Because I know Toledo Yacht Club is.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we got another question.
This one's from Vicky. What are the what areas at Randolph would you recommend to focus on? We will also be staying the night at Stone Mansion. Any pointers for that location?
I've never been to Stone. That'd be a cool one to check out. Randolph, I mean, not to be too cliche, but we did have a lot happen in the basement. I mean, if you, one of the things that we experienced, because we slept there, so like, you know, the front of the building is kind of like, it's like where the warden or whomever lived and his family, and like there's a bedroom up there. So we slept in the if you're looking out the front door, it'd be the bedroom on the upstairs on the left is where we slept. Okay. And it was like 5 a.m, and there was like this loud, like bam from the basement, like someone slammed a heavy door. And I will say, Nick Groff showed that on Paranormal Lockdown. He experienced that there, and we also experienced that there, which was pretty cool, you know, to have the same experience. And they get some interesting photos down there in the basement of Randolph too. Yeah. So a lot happened down there.
Well, it's 7:58, unfortunately, because like I said, I view you as like a prime guest because you guys have been so many places and so many of the popular places that people want to go, and you definitely have a lot of info on stuff. But
well, I appreciate you having me on.
It's wrapping it up to 8 o'clock, and we're gonna have to end this. But yeah, man, thanks 1,000 times for coming on here. This was a good stuff. Yep. We would definitely like to have you on again sometime soon. Or not soon. I don't want to
do some more investigation now that COVID is lifted, and get some more so we can share all our great little stories.
But I wouldn't mind too, you know, like if you guys ever get to a place around Detroit or something, and you're like, oh shit, we need a couple more people. I mean, definitely look us up, because
For sure.
I would absolutely love to bring a camera and some recorders and let's do this.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So again, thank you guys, and everybody that's watching, please go to everything, or I got to say the whole name because DPX doesn't bring you nothing, but it's Detroit Paranormal Expeditions, and it's .com, it's Facebook, it's YouTube. Anything else? Am I missing?
We got Instagram, some of our audios on SoundCloud, some of my favorite audios on there. But if you just go to DetroitParanormalExpeditions.com, right there at the top is the link to all of our channels.
Cool, because they got a lot of interesting stuff to watch. So, all right, we will.
All right.
We're going to end this now, and we'll, go ahead and stay here. I'm going to end this broadcast. I hate the ending. I never know how to end it right.
We're still working on everything. So
anyway, thanks again, and I'm going to end it now.
Thank you.
See you later, everybody.
Bye.